Projection! So with my Chapter 5 review out of the way, another element I still wanted to discuss was about the gang's Cutie Mark origin stories. I personally found them not only disappointing, confusing, but with how fast their stories were told, they felt like a footnote in the whole episode. It may as well have been like, hey Missy, here's how we got our Cutie Marks, bye!
Hey guys, I found Joey, bye!
But let's go ahead and break down each of their stories and try to understand what the writers were thinking. Let's start off simple with Izzy, whose story is pretty much the only one that makes sense.
There was this really sad-looking junk pile in the middle of our forest. I saw it as stuff that just needed some love. I remade everything into a big teapot statue. Unicycling! And then bam! Got my mark!
I really don't have much else to say here other than it's okay. It's something that reflects her personality and her hobby of reusing old junk and repurposing it for something creative, which reflects what she does today. It's something that shows her creativity and does something that positively affects the community. Although it does tell me that ponies in Bridalwood litter like crazy. Clearly, they need a stern talking to by Woodsy the Owl.
Give a hoot, don't pollute, never be a dirty bird. In the snow or on the sand, help keep America looking grand.
Next, let's hear Hitch's Cutie Mark story.
You look like you're about to burst, buddy. Wanna tell yours?
Do I?
I have to go now. My planet needs me.
I was playing hoofball on the beach with some colts when this filly asked to join us, but they wouldn't let her play. They just kept shouting,
"No fillies allowed!" Well, obviously, the Colts are the victims here. They don't want to get any cooties by playing with a girl. Gross.
So I did what any decent pony would do. I ditched the meanies and played with her. And then I got my mark! Because the only peace of mind is to be kind.
Okay, fine. He did something rather selfless to help another pony out. He did a nice gesture wanting to play with her. Good kid. But the cutie mark he got doesn't make any sense. Let's take a look at what each part of his cutie mark represents. He has a shield, which among many things, is associated with protection, toughness, and boldness. Okay, he really didn't protect the poor girl, nor did he assert his toughness. I guess you could argue that the gesture he made was bold, but the other kids really didn't show any other hostility toward Hitch. He kind of just showed up on the scene and they just kind of ignored his actions. So the shield part of his cutie mark doesn't fit. How about the horseshoe part? Well, that typically represents good luck and protection, which again doesn't work. If the kids were actually physically or psychologically bullying her, and Hitch came in and ran him off, protecting her, then this would work. So really, the only parts of his cutie mark that make sense are the hearts, which represent the kindness that was shown. So that's a dud cutie mark. Next is Zip and Pip.
Before we had magic, I was always crunching numbers, trying to figure out exactly how Pegasi could fly again. And sure, it was scary, but no other Pegasus had tried it before me.
You're gonna do superhero landing. Wait for it! Woo! Superhero landing! Yeah, that's really hard on your knees.
How did a series of parkour moves and floating result in a lightning bolt cutie mark? Let's break down the elements again. A crown represents royalty. Okay, that's obvious. A lightning bolt represents several ideas including fear, admiration, clarity, inspiration, and creativity. Okay, that's a big fat no to the first three. Inspiration and creativity? Okay, so Philly Zip's goal was to figure out how to fly for real. Noble and interesting goal. And her techniques to get the height took some thought and creative thinking, but the problem is she just glided around for a couple seconds and really didn't solve the whole flightless Pegasi goal she set for herself. Yet the fates rewarded her efforts with a cutie mark for a minimalist performance, and it doesn't feel earned. Another problem with this whole thing is that this is back when the royal family continued the facade where they were the only ponies in the entire province of Zephyr Heights that can fly. So why would these civilians be so impressed with their glides? Admittedly, any pony would be in awe if a kid could perform such parkour moves, but the flight aspect should not be an impressive feat because, again for all intents and purposes, they know she can fly. Now yes, the kids are obviously too young to actually adhere to said lie, but still this mark does not feel earned and was technically earned amongst a lie. As for Pip,
Watching my sister soar, that gave me the confidence to perform for the first time ever.
Ooh, make your mark. It's your spark. Your cutie mark. Oh, yeah.
Hit?
You suck, McBain!
Again, crown, royalty, good. Music notes. Yeah, she sang a couple lines, but again, she just sang in front of her sister and a few random civilians. And Faye once again just gives her a mark like they were coupons. No major concert performance, nothing that directly leads her to become a pop sensation in the city. Destiny must have been really lazy that day. Hey, that kid sang a couple notes. Yeah, sure, have a mark. I don't care. Another cutie mark dud. Which finally brings us to Sunny, who has the worst story of all.
My lemonade was a hit, but two ponies wanted the last one. They started arguing.
Wow. Alright, so we have a kid who's raising money for the library for unknown reasons, but nonetheless doing a noble and charitable event. Very thoughtful. And then you have two grown adults who are fighting over the last lemonade that costs 5 bits or cents or whatever the hell currency G5 uses. What else can I say but how petty and shallow does that make the citizens of the town?
But then I stepped in to help. They realized they were fighting for no reason.
Yeah, fighting for no reason because they're adults bickering like immature children. Also, yet another cup ready to go, but you shortchanged them both by giving them each half a lemonade. That was just her using business savvy to cheat customers by giving them less supply and somewhat fulfilling a demand, yet making the same amount of money off it. Now, yes, it is going to the library, but still the deed of taking advantage of the situation was inadvertently done.
That's when my cutie mark appeared. My dad told me it's because I helped those ponies put aside their differences.
No, you didn't. They didn't have differences. Both clearly stated they wanted the last lemonade. You just produced a second cup, cheating each one with half the amount, and satisfied their greed. Also, great parenting in Argyle, just standing off to the side as two selfish adults argue in front of the child. Just gonna let that escalate, are ya? Father of the Year. Now let's go ahead and analyze her so-called earned cutie mark. A trio of shooting stars with a blue trail coming off of it. Shooting stars represent good luck, positivity, release of negative energy, renewal, and divine guidance. The only thing that makes the slightest bit of sense here is the release of negative energy. Yeah, she diffused a situation, but it didn't have any life-changing impact on either ponies and was just a one-off awkward situation. If anything, her cutie mark should have been something business-related like a pie chart or $sign or an evil corporate logo or something like that. The only thing this whole situation sets up Sunny for is her smoothie cart business, and that's it. Every pony's origin stories were either lame, insignificant, confusing, not earned, or any combination thereof. Cutie marks are meant to represent a pivotal moment in a pony's life when they discover their talent, whether it be something they can do themselves or something that can positively affect the lives of others. Like I said in my Chapter 5 review, Cutie Mark Chronicles not only had fascinating stories with each of the main 6 that could have easily been their own episodes with how interesting, epic, and emotional they were, here it's just a series of hyperbridge stories that aren't memorable and none feel earned with how insignificant all the events were. So that's it. I have nothing else to say on this topic, but stay tuned in the future as I cover more G5 and MLP content. Well, that's it for today, guys. Until next time, and see ya!